Recording has
Okay,
started.
yeah. So for anybody coming late, we're going back to the pre-construction and submittal process slides. And if you can continue to where I was, it's just still at the beginning. Keep going one more. Yeah, one more. Here we go. Okay, so if you go to the to our TCAP website, you will find the TCAP roadmap, and this is where you can find most of the documents that you need for any phase of your project. And if you click in the middle, you'll see that gray box that says pre-construction, and that is where you will find, it'll automatically download the pre-construction overview. And that document, I think that's where we left off in the next slide, will have a lot of the resources that you're looking for. This includes the HASP checklist that Matt was just talking about, which is obviously critical for developing and getting your HASP approved. It includes sample insurance documents that you'll probably see later, MWBE forms, PA forms for pre-construction and other construction submittals, guidance on submitting those documents, and what to expect and prepare for in the pre-construction meeting. Also on that roadmap, you would see some construction overview, the construction overview document, the links to recorded TCAP webinars like this one, the TCAP manual, and the TCRM Tenant Construction Review Manual. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah, this is just a brief look at what the pre-construction overview looks like on the right side. Keep going. One more. There we go. So if you look through the pre-construction overview, you'll see that in order to schedule the pre-construction meeting, we need a minimum of 5 items approved. And we, as Matt said, highly suggest starting these as soon as possible. Before you have design approval, or even maybe before you've submitted your design at all. It's just as long as you've initiated your project. These are the health and safety plan, the certificate of insurance, the special inspection form assigning inspection and testing responsibilities, the MWB participation plan, and the no further comments on your design submittal. So obviously these HASP COI, the special inspection and MWBE plan, you can start those, but in order to get to the final design, NFC is required to get to the pre-con. All should be submitted via our digital platform called Trimble, and we'll go through that Trimble process later. And we ask that you submit each of these separately under its own process. Later in the webinar, we've already been through the HASP, but they'll go through the requirements for the certificate of insurance and the MWB plan. If you go on, we also require some other submittals, but these won't be required for the scheduling, but they will be required by the time of the meeting. These include the list of subcontractors with relevant licenses, qualifications of the individuals performing special inspections, and the construction schedule. And each project is different, and the resident engineer's office that you're going to be working with will guide you through it, but you will maybe also need the rest of these and anything that they tell you that is not listed here as well. This could include the contractor's environmental management plan, permits from external agencies, updates to permits you've already submitted, a security plan, maintenance of traffic plan, and the FAA form 7460, which, as any of you that are familiar with it, should be submitted as soon as possible as well. As I said, your REO will let you know if you need anything else before the pre-con, but these are just some of the items that you may or will likely need. Keep going. Next slide. As I said later in the webinar, we'll go through the technical submittal process, but I just want to focus in on one thing here, which is the completeness review. So if you've already heard from Matt that he has 5 days to perform your technical review, we add the first person to look at your submittal will be the REO, and that REO will be performing a much faster review, which is just to look at key items and common mistakes. And the purpose of that is to limit the amount of technical reviews that you'll be going through, which can slow down your overall pre-con submittal process. After, of course, the technical review would be consolidated by the resident engineer's office as well. But these are two separate reviews, the first one being very fast and kind of courtesy review so that we don't have too many technical reviews. And if you go on to the next. So once you have all your submittals, your design, no further comments, and submittals, HASP insurance, MWE plan, and special inspection checklist all approved, we will schedule the meeting. And at the meeting, we will go over the scope of work, roles and responsibilities of each stakeholder, the architects or engineer of record inspection plans, the Port Authority inspections, pre-construction submittals, permit required work, facility specific requirements, safety, and permit inspection process. Go on. So the AEOR, the architect or engineer of record, should come to the meeting ready to present the scope, the schedule, inspection plan. That should include the special inspections and testing plans, safety plans, security plans, phasing and permit plans, and of course, you should come with all of your questions because a lot of PA people will be there. So if you go on to the next slide, who will be there? For every pre-construction meeting, the architect or engineer of records should be present, a tenant representative, and a general contractor as well, and also any key subcontractors and suppliers. You should also expect on the PA side, the tenant coordinator, the resident engineer, quality insurance inspector, the facility and security representative, and the Office of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion representative. And of course, any other key stakeholders that need to be present for your specific scope. You go on. Once we get through the meeting and if all the requirements, all the submittals are in, and you've met everything that we asked, you will receive your permit to construct and can proceed to your construction. This is what your permit will look like, and you should receive it the day of, if everything is met, right after your meeting. We'll go on to the next. So in the pre-construction meeting, we would go over this, but just to give you a quick preview, in the construction process, the REO should be notified in advance of any special inspection, test scope changes, and any other work that might impact life safety during construction, life safety items, I should say. And we also require certain submittals during construction, like the MWBE participation monitoring plan, submittals for cranes and barges you would be using, updates to your HASP and JHA, permit renewals, and PA forms for permit required work. That might be hot work or confined space or any other. If you go through our list on the pre-construction overview, you would see those and the documents that you would have to fill out and submit to the REO. We go on to the next. So, and click once more. So if you go through the pre-construction meeting, you'll find all the forms that you would need, and for construction submittals, there is a process that I think Ryan might go over later, but there is one special case that I want you to be aware of, is a significant scope change. A significant scope change is a change that requires a design approval. So what that is, I can't answer in this meeting, obviously. Every project is specific. The only thing that I would ask is that you inform, that we require that you inform the resident engineer of any scope change and let the resident engineer determine what needs to be submitted to design for design approval. So they would obviously consult within the Port Authority, but they would be the point of contact to make sure that they're aware, so that we don't have at the end of your project you have to go through another design approval in order to get your permit. Okay, go on to the next. Yeah, so I just want to end this with part of the presentation with some key takeaways, which I think Matt already mentioned, but start your pre-construction submittals early. You can start them as soon as your project is initiated and you will have a scope of work and a contractor. And we are here to help you with every part of the TAA process, including the pre-construction submittals. So if you have any questions during any part of your process, You have contacts in the tenant coordinator and the resident engineer that you can talk to get your answers. And we are, I think, very receptive to and responsive. Now,